Gathering materials makes for dull work indeed.
A troubling rumor has reached my ears, and methinks I ought to share it. 'Tis said there is an illness spores can tracked beyond the rift that inflicts unspeakable harm on those around them. As it progresses, the pawn gradually loses all self-control, and in time will even cease to heed the Arisen's commands.
That sounds most unpleasant. I do hope we shall remain free of it. Will someone not explain what is happening?
In truth, I cannot help but fear what lies ahead. Yet I shall defend our master's world all the same. I would have preferred not to have to fight so soon, but at least I know I am up to the challenge. Forgive me for being a burden, Arisen.
Properly equipped in this situation. Ain't that hard to find a new weapon?
What are you doing? You're in the midst of battle! Arisen! Are you alright?
already? Bother. I was just getting warmed up. Good thing I was standing here, eh?
No longer do I feel the probing gaze of the Watching One. Is this your doing, newest of the Arisen? I am he who brought the dragon low, and o'er its bones raised the proud kingdom of vermin. Despite the magnitude of my feat, I was dissatisfied, and sought e'er greater heights, till at last I ruled the world entire. Thus did I come to know of the Watching One, the being by whose many eyes and ears no one or thing in this world goes unobserved. As to the purpose with which they watch, I know not. Yet I did divine one thing. This world has lain neath the Watching One's unwavering gaze ere the dawn of its history. I despaired at this discovery, for if all is but a stage, did that not render my hard-won glories, my throne astride the world, mere spectacles for the all-seeing eye to watch? Aye, 'twas all a farce, and I, the fool, exulting in my wooden crown. Do you understand, newest of the Arisen? This is why I sought to fell the Watching One. Alas, though I cut down all who seemed false, be they man or woman, human or beastman, young or old, I did not succeed. Indeed, my efforts led only to my own ruin. I was dubbed the Mad Sovereign, and by the hand of a new Arisen, consigned to this place forevermore. Yet, I can only assume that you have achieved what I could not. How else to explain the changes I sense in the world? Ah, what bitter gall that I cannot witness the outcome for myself. Falter not, newest of the Arisen, for your path is just, and fading spirit though I am, I may yet summon those can be of aid to you.
I see you have returned, Arisen One. The Mad Sovereign has called, and so we answer. If you would save the people of this world from ruin, lead them here. For this place may chance to escape the coming destruction.
Making this a place of refuge is a splendid idea. It's safe, and apt to become quite cheerful once the crowd settles in.
You have my support.
We too once bore the mantle of Arisen, though no longer. As we walked our respective paths, each of us lost the incomparable strength of will that made us Arisen. One in despair of the dragon's boundless might, one in pursuit of vengeance's cold comfort, and one for fear of what fate held in store. Yet you bear it still, Arisen One. Hold fast to your strength of will, for it shall doubtless lend you the strength you will need to spare this world its end.
The Mad Sovereign's power yet girds this place. It could prove the last bastion of hope for the people of this world. Alas, 'twill not hold forever. The coming destruction can only truly be forestalled if 'tis sundered at its heart.
Since times of eld, dragon blood has been used to refine all manner of equipment. I myself learned the art by deciphering ancient texts. Remember, draconic blood flows through the veins of lesser drakes as well. Bring me what ye reap, and I shall harness it to your benefit. Then I bid ye farewell.
I do so...
The coming destruction.
We seem to have arrived without issue. But are we safe here?
Well met. Might you be looking to enlist?
Few are privy to the goings-on in the Forbidden Magic Research Lab, even among the Batali.
Indeed. And the researchers employed there are as tight-lipped as they come.
Do the people not question its existence? I should like... to know more about its activities, if 'twere me.
Our people work hard, and we respect them for it. Whate'er comes, we shall hold fast to our hope. You're the Arisen, aye? I am to inform you that Lord Phasis requests your presence at the Forbidden Magic Research Lab. As to whether you heed him, I care not.
Must we run everywhere? You are an impatient one, Arisen.
Let us endeavor to keep up, though we are less fleet of foot.
Can't help but talk in a whisper when I'm
That's right. I must fetch those papers.
I've a niggling feeling I've forgotten something.
A lonely day.
I'm not without...
We ought to keep watch, lest we be set upon from behind.
We'll manage. Whatever comes. We always do, don't we?
Ah, Arisen. You yet live. I suspected as much, given that your pawn still remains. One might hypothesize that your pawn is sustained by your vital essence. Or perhaps something more. In any case, we ought to apprise one another of the situation. Is there aught you would know? Ah, yes. I trust it has not escaped your notice that the end of days is upon us. After you vanished, together with the Red Dragon, the seas rose to swallow the skies. 'Twas perhaps a month from that evil day when a new calamity befell us. A host of dragons descended from the skies and fell upon the land with fang and claw. Luz the Oracle called upon me ere you arrived. As she tells it, Melve and its environs have already fallen prey to the beasts. 'Tis surely only a matter of time before the rest of the kingdom follows suit. I found the poor creature collapsed by the wayside near Batal. Recognizing your pawn, I decided to take the ailing thing into my custody. I thought it possible that the Arisen's pawn might hold the key to making sense of all this madness. Alas, try what I might, your pawn will not wake. Mayhap you will succeed where I could not. The pawn is, after all, yours to command. Indeed. Well, in your absence, I had hoped your pawn might yield me some information. But as you have returned, I would hear the truth from your lips. Tell me, Arisen, what became of you this past month? So, following your plunge into the sea on the dragon's back, some mysterious presence reached out to you. Could that have been the World Forged? Yet why would such a being linger in those fathomless depths? And speculate I shall. This ought to prove a fruitful avenue of investigation. For that, I thank you. Now, if you can find a way to end this interminable slumber, your pawn is, of course, free to rejoin you.
Oh, Master. How long I've slept? Far too long, it seems. But worry not. Now that I am awake, I shall follow wherever you lead.
Whatever our squabbles may have been, I trust you understand that setting this world to rights takes precedence.
My research is at an impasse.
What hope have I of doing any good in a world such as this? What hope have I of doing...
We're not to talk during missions.
During my time with Lord Phases, I found myself in a strange state of being. I was conscious of nothing. Nothing that is, save your presence, Master.
You've pushed your luck too far.
I'll not take that from you.
Pray calm yourselves, good people. I will have none of this squabbling.
So, Manella, you don't understand. This scoundrel's the one who started it.
No, you don't understand. This is no time for the people of Batal to be quarreling amongst themselves. We shan't weather this calamity unless we can recall our common purpose and unite our efforts towards it.
Oh, what does this say? Shall we take a closer look?
Ah, Sir Arisen. You are returned, I see. The people despair at the state of the world, and that despair easily gives way to anger. I maintain order as best I can, but for every fire I extinguish, it seems 3 more are incited behind my back. But enough of my woes. What brings you here? You wish us to evacuate? Mayhap the idea merits some thought. After all, if we sit on our haunches, 'tis likely only a matter of time before we share the fate of Mel. Alas, the people of Batal are far from united in purpose at present. Should we proceed, unheeding of their divisions, I fear that our efforts would come undone ere long. With every soul at their wits' end, conflict is like to spark at the slightest provocation. As such, before we take any measures, I would have you walk amongst the people, Sir Arisen. Behold their plight with your own eyes. And should you encounter any discord, pray do aught you can to resolve the people's quarrels and assuage their fears. Such efforts will doubtless allow the evacuation to proceed all the more smoothly. As for me, my work here is far from done. Let us part ways for now, and reconvene when you have accomplished all you can.
Flared tempers are understandable given the circumstances. Let us aid immediate.
How dare you!
You'll get what's coming to you.
Haven't you had enough yet?
Is aught amiss?
I'm done for. Haven't you had enough yet? You're the one who started this. How dare you!
That's it. I've had enough.
Well met.
Oi! I saw it first. Phew. Trust a flea-ridden hide to take it all for himself.
Why must I share with a fangless one? This is no more your food than Batal is your land.
You there! You couldn't have come at a better time. Put this upstart in his place for me, won't you? Go on, lay into him. If that's what you think, why don't you mind your own business?
All right, clear off. Pretty words shan't fill our bellies.
You've pushed your luck too far.
That's quite enough. That's quite enough.
You said it's bad to hurt people. You look big and strong.
Welcome, as a discerning customer like yourself will doubtless appreciate. We are... For excellent service, and always a pleasure.
Stop this, father! Thank you, sir. I'll be sure to share it.
You mean with me? For true? Thanks. I'm half starved.
Oi, leave my kid alone.
You're not some child snatcher, are you?
Wait. You shared your food with them. Thank you, sir. As for you, Nomos, it would seem we were both but looking out for our children, eh?
Aye. Mayhap we're not so different after all. And we both had children fed. We've no reason to quarrel.
The desire to protect one's kin transcends race and culture. It just goes to show, we are none of us so different.
Outstanding.
I've had well enough of your nitpicking.
I reckon the world would be better off without you.
Oi, you! Don't go poking your nose in our business. This is between us.
Aye, leave off or we'll make you.
As a matter of fact, I did not take to being a mage straight away. It was some time before I managed to like it.
Have you lost your bloody mind?
Reckon you can just cut us down in the street? What's the matter with you? Eh? Fine, fine. We'll set our squabble aside for today, so bother us no more.
That's not happening. Got my hopes up for naught.
What to make of this?
You're just riding on your father's coattails.
You slander my honor, sir. I demand a duel. This is no business of yours. Be gone!
Now, Narborough, let's not be too hasty. If we are to duel, we ought to have a witness. Otherwise, who's to say the victor fought with honor?
Aye, true enough. Without a witness, either of us could simply kill the other, then disavow the use of any underhandedness. Well, sir, what say you? Will you watch over us while I take this scoundrel to task? This knave dared to slight my honor. He said my swordsmanship was hardly fit to wound a training dummy. The bloody nerve of him.
And I'd say it again. 'Twas your dear father's patronage that made you a sentinel, not your own skill.
Very well. I'll not force the issue, but do keep back, lest you become entangled in the fray.
Ah! Let us settle this once.
Stay back, lest you get caught in the fray.
How dare you interrupt a battle between honorable opponents?
Such humiliation shan't go unanswered. Prepare yourself, sir.
Look at us, put in our place like a pair of whelps.
I ought to thank you for holding up a mirror to our foolishness. We've better things to do than squabble over petty slights.
Aye, consider your lesson well taught. Methinks I'd best reapply myself to my training.
I was most surprised when you intervened in their duel. Did you aim to temper their pride by proving neither your equal?
Outstanding.
Ah, Sir Arisen. In less pressing circumstances, I would take issue with your methods, but I cannot deny your efficacy. The people of Batal are beginning to see that they must stand together if they are to survive this calamity. We shall see the fruits of your labors when the time comes to evacuate. At the very least, we need not expect too much opposition to the announcement. Pray return to Empress Nadinia and apprise her of your doings. I must remain here to ensure no further squabbles arise. Heavens only know how many lives you have saved this day. I hope you will accept this humble reward for your efforts.
What say we report back to Empress Nadinia? Her Majesty ought to be willing to commence the evacuation now.
By your leave.
In less pressing circumstances, I would have taken issue.
Mayhap we could bring the people to the seafloor shrine.
I know not what to call it, but a miracle. Empress Nadinia has returned to us from beyond the veil of death. Her Majesty has begun her supplications. She prays for the world to be delivered from its doom. I must ask you to wait till she has finished, ere you seek an audience with her.
One of our ministers informs us that you have been espied in the city, resolving the people's troubles. You have our gratitude for your efforts, which have doubtless bettered the fate of this nation and its citizenry. Your journey continues, does it not? We wish you good fortune on your travels, wheresoe'er they may take you. Yet, ere we part ways, we would make another request of you. It regards Lord Phaesus. Though we have implored the man to join the evacuation, he has staunchly refused to leave this land behind. We thought that he might be more inclined to heed your words, as our own have fallen on deaf ears. Would you be willing to call on him in our stead? Of course, you are free to decline if our proposal is an unwelcome one.
Pray excuse the interruption, Your Majesty, but I fear time is upon us. I would see you prepared for the road ahead.
Indeed. Forgive us, but we must take our leave. Farewell.
Bagbatal and the rest town are now safely evacuated. I'm certain we can rely upon Salmonella to keep the peace.
That was certainly worthwhile.
Mayhap I'll buy myself a new sword next. Off to market I go.
Water is nigh invisible in this gloom. No few times has an overconfident step soaked my boots.
Ah, yes. That sounds familiar.
I had a marvelous idea, and now I've lost it.
Always a fresh breeze blowing round here.
Nice place, this. I'm in no hurry to leave.
Perfect.
Nefernis Alifkil?
Kemenindor, Fionar lis nun moriven.
The sky glows red with fury. But what have we done to earn its ire?
Arin Felsur.
Edella el Dalia Gana el Gemenhum. The sky glows red with fury. But what have we done to earn its ire?
Arin Felsur.
Lungtena peli telume. Ane martir, tindume ingarina fa alme al car.
Isolad fanun, Nandawin le Karen.
Yavtarma erome.
What has become of this world? We cannot be sure we will be safe here. Yet this place is all we know. You think we need to evacuate? I see. And you know of a place where we might find refuge? I should gladly follow you, but I fear my father will not be so easily persuaded. Nonetheless, we can but try. Come.
As arborist, Sir Taliesin is the leader of the Elven people. Let us follow our guide, that we might speak with him.
I quite agree.
Findelnar, ne veo norwende lis kemen, moriven lis irumar meltol netara.
Kasinke telpe nun finaler, nun mor arta her. Karilm ilmen arkael, silfa nambawe nun kalael alame, angadur sindi.
Mornambwe hiroth enfane ava silmines fana. Erur ne kemen malantar ingadur, Fielis lintan morivin nun we ingerina?
Kemenindor kanyan irils aldekar. Eteler le affair mor eldalia eralotte. Ondovana alvekil eteler ne anler ailame.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart so tightly that even my words cannot reach him. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health, perhaps he might be persuaded. I am afraid my father, if only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Lungtena peli telume.
Ronde Minida,
Vir al-Khaliel.
the sky glows red with fury. But what have... Nun we ondo,
Arniat.
Halan Osterlintan. Non wende hiroth. Yavtarma erom.
Meitene melton.
Alkael ne, iam.
Kemen nath. Kemen nath.
Ele osto silfa malantha alecano mine. Angudu telpe.
Perhaps this will seem of little consequence, but...
Lungtena fir oyo.
Benis menelu.
Siryandio ne halana, ni morvarni.
Monelintar?
Nandewin morteren ne calis.
Minesvana lisfanemo. I'll go and open the chest.
Dear Alakaliel.
Kemen nath.
Alkael ne, iamena.
Mo Akayel Arume fa in Iterond, Etele Eldalia Nufinantai.
No purchases to be made today, I see. I just hope the shopkeep understands.
The Arisen is ever prudent in the application of coin.
Kemen Ross, Akasa. Kemen Indor, Fionar Lis Nun Morive.
Etiler, Nandewin fa.
Dear Alakaliel.
Ronde Minida, I cannot stand to think that the world...
Kemen Ross,
Yav karma erume.
Alecano nande.
Lungtena peli telume. Ane martir, tindume ingarina fa alme alcarwa?
I am afraid my father has closed. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health. Perhaps.
Kirandone halana. Alecano nande.
Fume Isil Rodnun Alba.
Not a foe in sight.
A brief respite is naught to decry.
Yav tarma erume.
Elelote an fear osto silfa malantha alecano mine in fair avehum.
Shall we get some rest then?
Should we hunt a few monsters to start the day off?
Come, we've much to be getting on with. Ready to fall.
Alcaelne, Diam.
Ayu, fanamo ne metane.
Ronde minida.
The sky glows red.
Alecano nande.
Minasvana fals mir salma.
The flow of time is not as it should be.
Kiriando an mindor hiroth. Arta here, courier.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart so tightly that even my words cannot reach him. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Kiriando an mindor.
Morfa menelsar.
Ne afer morfin in tarma. Afer pele in minisvana. Yav tarma erume.
I'll gather this. It might be of use.
Salma Arinfe. Alecano nanderin.
Ne afer morfin in tarma. Afer pele in minisvana.
Nefernis alifkil?
Yav tarma erume.
Alkaelne, hiam.
Elalia, luin tarma lintan.
Falomatari nun fear.
Kana el kemenhum.
Monelintan?
Falasmie Salma. Nefernis Alifkin?
Elalia, luin tarma lintan.
The sky glows red with fury. But what have we done to earn its ire? Please do not bring any strife. The sky glows red with...
Falomatari nun fear.
Minasvana falsmir salma.
Nun we ondo, aninke liavani alvikil? Kana el kemenhum.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart so tight. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Kiriando anmindor hiroth? Arta. Kiriando anmindor hiroth? Kiriando anmindor.
I am afraid my father has closed his... If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
We have found a material.
I'm sure we'll find a purpose for it in due time.
Salma Arenfer. Aliele Finnis ab Falasmie Salma.
Do you know anything of this calamity? Anything that might help to prevent it? There is much I do not know. The sky glows...
Tane filmento. Cagnani.
We've made it then. What's our first order of business, Arisen?
Your Majesty, how glad I am to see you safe. Where have you been this past month? The end of the world? Are things truly so dire? Though, I am aware of the dragon attack on Melv. We received word that naught but a smoking ruin remains. 'Twas a tragedy, and I would not see it repeated. However, without a clear path, we and the Guard shall be hard-pressed to forestall the impending crisis. You would have me evacuate the city? I see. Mayhap 'twould be for the best. Ever since the fall of Melv, the citizens of Vernworth have lived in fear that their homes are next to be assailed. If there is safe harbor to be found elsewhere, I believe we have naught to lose by seeking sanctuary. But I doubt I could convince the people of this city to abandon their homes, however terrified they may be. Methinks your majesty would do better to ask this of the Regent King. After the false sovereign vanished and the world was altered, His Grace has been the one keeping order here in Vermont. If the people will heed anyone, 'tis him.
Maintaining order in Vermont must be quite a burden upon the young Regent King. Let us aid him however we may.
By your leave.
Do you know how long you'll be? I only asked so that I might adopt the most effective stance to recuperate my strength.
So you've come. I'm glad to see you. Captain Brandt has already apprised me of your proposal. A full-scale evacuation of the citizenry. Truth be told, I had reached the same conclusion. So long as we cower within these walls, we must live in fear of going the way of Melv. My ministers have approved the plans, and I have petitioned the encampment survivors and the Thieves' Guild for aid. The only remaining obstacle is my mother. She has set herself stubbornly against any such flight. I have tried to make her see reason, but of late she has taken to shutting herself in her chambers. However, I fear that my position permits me to entertain her fancy no longer. I must put the needs of the common folk before her selfish whims. Now, there are a few matters I must attend to before we can evacuate, and I would fain welcome your assistance. We will require several ox carts to carry the sick and aged out of the city. Might I prevail upon you to petition the merchant at the ox cart station in the west of the city for their use? You may assure him that the royal treasury will foot any and all expenses. Would you be so kind as to petition the merchant? You may assure him that the royal treasury will foot any and all expenses.
Queen Regent Disa hardly leaves her chambers, and all her meals come back scarcely touched. Between you and me, I fear for her health.
Have you come to claim my life, Arisen? Well, far be it from me to deny you. But I shall go to the grave with a smile on my lips, for I have no regrets. All I did for my darling son. So do as you will. I have no intention of begging for mercy. Do with me as you will. I care not what befalls me now. What are you doing? Unhand me at once! Guards! Help me!
You have brought Mother to me, I see. My thanks, friend. You have done me a great service.
Sven.
You may leave us. Now that we can speak without a door twixt us, I am confident that I can persuade her. Not what to make of this. What's to be done about this?
Dull days for us are a sign that all is well. My sword arm could use some work.
Some of us get complacent. I train differently.
would have been.
Is it too early for a rest as yet? Suppose I ought to earn my those new recruits. I'd sooner stay out of that where possible.
I'm dead on my feet after today's training.
Begone with you, ruffian. These carts are mine. I paid good gold for them. And if you think I'll surrender a single one, you'd best think again. I require the use of all of them to transport my wealth to safety.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I've just sold off my last cart. That fellow over there gave me a handsome price for half a dozen of...
Begone with you, ruffian. And if you think I'll surrender a single, I require the use of all of them to...
At last!
Is this enough to have avoided the worst?
Did you want something?
What are you doing? Put that away. No, spare me. I pray you. I fear for my life.
Well, reckon he won't be coming back here in a hurry. As a matter of fact, I'd like to thank you for that. It didn't sit right, see? Having my wares claimed by some puffed-up minister trying to save his own skin. Anyhow, as long as I've got my gold, who takes the carts is no concern of mine. And if that craven comes crawling back, I'll tell him bandits took them.
They say a crisis reveals one's true character, but that man was no less miserably selfish than he always seemed.
I quite agree.
Still waiting on that report.
We cannot accompany you there, Master, but fear not. You'll find us here when you return.
Mother, I must beg your forgiveness. I believed that you desired to make me sovereign solely for your own benefit. That in truth, you sought to better the lot of our people.
Ah, but I would have benefited. And handsomely at that. Besides, I cannot deny that I was proud. I wished to see my own son on the throne, and no other.
Even so, I cannot help but feel that all of this could have been avoided, had I only been more attentive. If I had but better known your heart, I could have shared in your burdens. You would not have had to suffer alone, and perhaps together we could have walked a better path.
Oh, Sven.
Mother, I beg you, join the evacuation. You need not fall with this city. I would not see you take your crimes wholly on your own shoulders. That weight is as much mine to bear as 'tis yours.
My son, you truly would make a fine and goodly ruler. Your kindness will save many lives. Of that I have no doubt.
Ah, you've returned. How fares your procurement of those carts? You do? My thanks. That puts paid to the last of our preparations. I will inform the citizenry forthwith.
Goods to train, arms to procure. Can't wait for the new equipment to come. I only pray. Is aught amiss?
This sort of quiet means all's well.
Tis our duty.
Self-injured. Don't I know that lass from somewhere?
If I see that rat again, that she is ill.
This ladder looks sturdy enough to climb.
Perhaps new discoveries.
Come take a look. You'll be glad you did. Many thanks. Are you in the market for something in particular? Always a pleasure.
Our packs are heavier, and our purses far lighter. We've a journey to prepare for, after all. We can't afford to cut corners.
These are troubled times, but rest assured, our doors shall remain open and our beds soft.
You know where to find me.
The red clouds portend naught but ill omens.
If only we had some means of dispelling them. We must find a way.
It isn't much of an adventure if all we do is make camp.
Let us return once we've grown tired from our labors.
The undead have risen to face us!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness.
Magic, Tarat, disposal! I was marked to be found by my master from beyond the gate. Now I can report a successful hunt.
Well said.
Lisfindemund fionaro. Lisfa ondo soron. Salma ne orne fa.
The language of the elves is entirely foreign to me. Yet, from their manner, I gather they're a proud people.
Lisfa ondo soron. Salma. Morfa menelsar. Morfa
Morin Osto et Calva.
Valis Eronon Laureso.
Should you need to communicate in Elvish, pray call upon me. I would be only too glad to assist.
Ilmen. Akaya arume fa in Iterond. Tele Eldalia nun we. In Lalasta.
Nun liatilmo.
Arume fa in Iterond. Et Tele Eldalia nun we in Lalasta.
Kemen hum naf. Longtena fir oyo.
Valis Eronon Laureso.
I cannot stand to think that the world might be Ronde Minita.
Elalia, luintarma alin.
Ayolot, Ronde Milita.
Morfa menelsar. Non morevin. Alecanonande.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart so tight. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Kiriando anmaindor hiroth. Artak. Kiriando
I happen to understand Elvish, Master. I expect you'll find my talents useful should we encounter another speaker. What has become of the world? I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain by your side. Where ought we to go now?
Nothing's coming to me, Master. I've not much to say at the moment.
I have a modest talent for spotting materials that can be used to... I know of nothing that demands your immediate notice.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Kiriando Anmindor here.
I cannot stand to think that the... Do you know anything of this calamity? Please do not... Do you know... I do not understand.
No!
Nun ve oyanda ata.
Morfa menelsar.
Nun ve oyanda ata.
Osto fana orne. Elelote anfir alent osto silfa malantha alecano mine in fair avehum.
We must rest, though the sun is still up.
A good sleep does wonders.
Come, we've much to be getting on with.
Alkaelne yam.
Kemen hum naf.
Alekanonande.
Ronde minita?
Kemen hum naf.
Falometari nun fear.
Nandewin morteren nicalis. Kemenindor? Menelum nun fi amor.
The sky glows red. What am I to do?
Alana fire mine.
Lungtena peli telume. Ondvana alvekil eteler ne anler ailame. Lungtena peli telume. Ondvana alvekil.
I am afraid my father, if only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Lungtena peli telume. Ondvana alvek.
I am afraid my father has closed his heart so tightly that even my words cannot reach. If only the Arbor heart were restored to health.
Lungtena peli telum. Lungtena peli telum.
The clouds encroach ever closer. It seems naught can be done to halt them now.
Is there nothing else to be done?
Lungtena peli tellume.